Hello everyone, today we are going to be taking a virtual field trip to find out ways in which people have modified their physical environment. So our first stop is Kennecott Copper Mine right here in Utah. I'm zooming in here. This is actually the deepest open pit mine in the world. It's also claimed to be the world's largest man-made excavation. That's what Kennecott says, although apparently that is in debate. But it has definitely produced more copper than any mine in history. It's produced more than 19 million tons. I'll get this out of the way. So you'll see this whole thing. This is the mine. You could take the soccer field at Rio Tinto Stadium in Sandy, Utah, and you could lay it end to end more than 38 times across just the top of it for it to reach both sides. And it's not even the width that it's famous for, it's the depth. It's kind of crazy. You see, they have all sorts of huge equipment. The giant electric shovels in a mine can scoop up as much as 98 tons in just a single bite. That's like the weight of 50 cars. Each tire on these big trucks costs from $18,000 to $26,000, and it only lasts 9 months. So that's craziness. Would you like to change that tire? So to see just how huge this is, let's take our ruler tool, stretch it out from one end to the other. And we have 6.94 kilometers. It's 4.31 miles, 22,774 feet. So have some fun with that. Like I said, it's owned by the Rio Tinto Group, and that operates the mine as well as a concentrator plant, a smelter, and a refinery. The one I didn't know about here was smelting, which is the process which produces metal from the ore, which has been, so you mine it, and then you take it to a concentrator, it's concentrated and turned into ore. You smelt the ore to turn it into metal, and then you send it to the refinery to be refined. So, this is just one great example of ways people have modified the environment. Here's a picture, more zoomed in so you can just look down and see how deep this is. See those are like giant excavating things. And they're just a little speck. It's very cool. Anyways, so our next stop will be, actually, go to the Hoover Dam next. Although you could go to these in any order with our wonderful field trip. So the Hoover Dam, this is also known as the Boulder Dam, was constructed. There was thousands of workers and actually hundreds of people died constructing this, but look at this. This is huge. Here, we're just going to actually zoom in right here and to go into this 360-degree city. So we can take a look at this Hoover Dam up close, like we were standing on top of it, like these tourists. These are people standing right on top of the dam. That's how big it is. These are the giant turbines used to generate the energy, which is the point of the Hoover Dam. We have these irrigation, water, hydro power, etc. This is where I'd ask the class, what do you think this dam is made of, and why do you think they need it? What do we use it for? What does it do to the water around it? We can see how it's created this lake here, which is really cool. And we use it, power is not the only reason. They also use it for irrigation purposes, but of course the main reason is hydroelectric power. And hydroelectric means that it's using water to turn these giant turbines. Okay, let's information more. So yes, it's actually made of cement, and that lake is called Lake Mead, and before it actually goes to the turbines, it enters these intake towers right here, and then it gets gradually narrower and narrower, like a funnel. And if you've ever seen water go down a funnel, it starts out slow and gets faster and faster as it goes toward the bottom, and that speed is what turns the turbines. It reaches a speed of about 85 miles an hour. So it's pretty fast. The entire Colorado River passes through these turbines. So it's kind of craziness. So when operating at full power, the 17 generators can supply all the electricity needed by a city of 750,000 people. Each of these generators weighs 4 million pounds. So that's kind of craziness. It's something kind of cool I found when I was looking up stuff about the Hoover Dam, because they actually had a mascot dog. It was a favorite pet of all the construction workers while they were building the dam, and they actually made a grave for it near the tourist center, so kind of fun fact there. Alright, so last but not least, we are now going to visit the Panama Canal. Okay, so the Panama Canal is not just a path of water between the two oceans, which is Pacific, Atlantic via the Caribbean Sea. There are actually 6 locks system in 2 parallel tracks, as you can see, 2 tracks here. And they raise and lower ships between the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. And these had to be built because of the terrain, because the highest point in the canal is actually 85 feet above sea level, and usually, ships, they don't go uphill unless there's some way to power them. So these lock systems raise up the ships, and we'll watch a little video about exactly how that works, and we'll probably discuss possibly building our own little locks, little mini ones, so that on another activity, so that could be good. Alright. So here, now we're going to zoom out some and see if we can figure out why this canal was so necessary. So we zoom out, we see here the 2 oceans. You can see how you need somewhere to connect those. But if we zoom out even more, see how the only other way to get around would be to go all the way around the Cape here. This take an insane amount of time, especially in the days the canal was built. So that's kind of interesting. Back to our pin here. Alright, so ships, as we said, ships do not simply sail through the canal. They use these locks and have to be guided through. So this is a huge advantage for people to modify the environment this way. It's kind of another interesting thing is that the canal is actually self-powered. Like all these locks that we've just learned about take a lot of power, and it actually is self-powered through various dams and hydroelectric power, just like the Hoover Dam that we just talked about. So it's kind of interesting. And another interesting thing that I didn't realize is the canal actually does run north-south. See if we got our north-south here, more than east and west, which is unusual, but yeah, it does. Another interesting is originally, before they had all the power and everything set up, the ships were, instead of being guided by these electric machines that actually guide the ships through, they were actually pulled through by real mules. So another interesting fact. And yeah, that's our virtual tour, so thanks.